it's Kristen, and today I'm talking about The Fault in Our Stars. If you have not seen this movie yet or read this book yet, you need to because it's so good. This book is written by John Green, and I will leave a list of other books that he's written down below in case you want to check them out. But yeah, he wrote this book and they turned it into a movie and it just came out, and I hope you guys are gonna go check it out because you really should. It's really, really good. Today I thought it would be fun to do a movie versus book review. If you remember, I also did a book versus movie review of Divergent, which is funny because Shailene Woodley and Ansel Elgort also starred in that movie, and they're starring in this one as well. Just so you know, there will be spoilers in this video, so if you have not read the book yet or you have not seen the movie, I'm just telling you now, there's gonna be spoilers. In case you don't know what The Fault in Our Stars is about, it's about Hazel Grace Lancaster, who's played by Shailene Woodley. She has terminal cancer and she goes to a support group every week, and one day at support group she meets this guy named Augustus Waters, who's played by Ansel Elgort, and he had cancer but he is in remission and they fall in love. They have an epic romance and it's a really, really good story. I was really excited to see how they portrayed it on screen, and let me just tell you, I don't even know the last time I went to a movie that had the reaction from the audience that I was seeing during this movie. Literally, before the movie even started, right when the trailers ended, people were cheering and screaming. I mean, it could have been just because there was a lot of trailers, but I think it was, you know, because they were so excited about the movie. And right when the first scene started, there was like screams and cheers, and I didn't even see it on the first day it came out. So this just shows you how much people love this movie. You know, there's a lot of really iconic moments and lines from the books that were put in the movies that everyone was freaking out about. When the okay scene happened, everyone was like, bah, bah, bah. It was really cool to be in the audience and, you know, hear that, you know, that all these people were, you know, feeling all these feels about this movie. And I just remember at the very end, people were like sobbing. Like, you could hear people like sobbing. It was crazy. But I wanted to talk about the differences and similarities between the book and the movie. I just read the book literally a week before I saw the movie, before it came out, and I thought it'd be fun to share with you guys. I want to talk about a couple of quick scenes that I really loved in the book that I thought translated really well in the movie. The first one is the okay scene, which, guys, I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about, when they decide to make okay their word, and I just thought the way that they did it was really sweet and natural, and it just seemed so real, the way that they're, you know, talking on the phone and just saying like okay, okay, you know, I thought that was a really great moment. One of the other scenes that I really loved was when they were in Amsterdam at the restaurant, the scene where they talk about bottling the stars and the champagne, and Augustus reveals that he loves Hazel. I know it was a little bit different than it was in the actual book, but I thought that this did a really great job of condensing all those scenes, and just, it was really beautiful. I just loved it, the lighting, the way it was set up. I just thought that was a really great scene. I also loved when they went to go see Peter Van Houten. I thought that when Hazel got really upset and started yelling at him, I thought, oh, it was like golden. It was so good. I don't know, Shailene Woodley just did a really great job as Hazel. There are a bunch of things that I noticed that were different from the book, so I will talk about those. One thing that I noticed was taken out of the movie was the Caroline storyline. Basically, before Augustus met Hazel, he had had another girlfriend who had cancer and had died of it. And I thought that worked really well in the books because it showed you that, first of all, you know, Hazel throughout the book spends more time trying to distance herself from Augustus, and we get to kind of understand why she doesn't want to hurt him like he was hurt when he lost Caroline. In the book, Hazel is more worried about hurting the people around her and, you know, having them lose her and be heartbroken over it, and I think the Caroline story helped kind of solidify why she wants to distance herself from Augustus, and we don't really see that in the movie as much. There are definitely a couple of moments where, you know, Hazel says she's a grenade and wants to try to stay away from Augustus, but that is just a very, very small part of the story, and most of it is their relationship together. Obviously, the character Caitlin, who is friends with Hazel in the book, does not appear at all in the movie, so that's just something to throw out there. There were also a lot of scenes that featured Isaac in the books that were cut down a little bit in the movie, which, I mean, how long can we make the movie? You gotta cut some stuff, so I could understand why they cut a lot of that out. One scene that I had wanted to see in the movie was the argument between Augustus and his parents before the Amsterdam trip. I think the book did a really great job of leaving these hints of what we can expect to happen to Augustus, and in the movie I was waiting to see some of those hints and there weren't any until at the very end of the trip when he tells Hazel that his cancer has returned. I think that I liked the way the book handled it a little bit better because I could kind of see like little moments where I was like, oh my god, something's happening, and in the movie it was kind of just like very abrupt. They also showed a lot less of Augustus's cancer story, and I kind of wish that they had shown more of that. In the books he was really weak and going through all of these, you know, problems, and in the movie he seemed pretty strong other than the fact that they put him in a wheelchair at the end. But there was the one scene where Augustus calls Hazel and wants her to meet him at the gas station. That scene I thought was done really well. You really got to see the like hatred that he had for his cancer, and I just thought, you know, it was like kind of just a very real scene. It would have been great if they had kept a little bit more of that towards the end of the movie as well, like if they inserted more of that kind of stuff, because, you know, I think that was really showing the realities of cancer, and, you know, like they say in the book that, you know, people will say how strong this person was throughout the process, but at the end of the day, you know, everybody breaks down at some point. At the end of the book, Hazel finds out that there is some note that Augustus wrote for her. She doesn't know what it is, and she has to kind of go on this little mini-ish adventure to figure out what it is and find it and read it. And in the movie it's definitely different. I know that they definitely did this to save time, but Peter Van Houten, he comes and gives her the note. She kind of crumples it up because she doesn't know what it is and doesn't want to hear from this author that she doesn't like anymore. And then Isaac is the one that tells her, like, oh yeah, he was giving you this note that was from Augustus, and she's like, oh my god. So then she goes and she gets it and reads it, and it's like a eulogy for her, and it basically is just him saying how much he loves her before he dies. So I thought that was an interesting scene, how they changed it from the book, but it definitely worked and kind of made it go a little bit faster in the movie. Basically, I'm really glad that I got a chance to read The Fault in Our Stars before I saw it in the movie theater, because I definitely think that it helped me kind of understand a little bit more of what the characters were feeling and going through and thinking compared to if I had just seen it and not read the book. There were also some things that I thought worked really well in the movie that I think just made things in the book a little bit clearer. There were two scenes that I remember specifically thinking, oh wow, this kind of clears things up for me a little bit that maybe I didn't really understand in the book. One is the funky bones. I couldn't really visualize what that was, and so being able to see it in the theater and being like, okay, this is what this looks like, I think it really made me understand where they were. The other thing was at the end of the book, there is a scene where Hazel is speaking about Augustus at his funeral, and she starts spouting off all of these encouragements that were in his house that his parents always had up, and I guess I didn't really understand in the book why she decided to change her speech versus what she had actually written for Augustus. And I think in the movie they really made it clear that the funeral isn't for the dead, it's for the living. So Hazel decided that instead of saying how she truly felt, because she had already told Augustus anyway, that now she was able to say what everyone else wanted to hear to help make them feel better. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Alright, well guys, I really liked The Fault in Our Stars. I thought it was great. I thought it really stayed true to the book. I could definitely, while sitting there, be like, oh my god, I remember reading that, and I remember reading that, and I remember reading that, and I thought that was really, really great. There were definitely some things that were changed, some things that were taken out. I mean, you can only fit so much in a movie, but overall, I think this was a really, really successful adaptation of this book. I hope you guys enjoyed this review and that you go and watch the movie and read the book, because you should do both. Alright guys, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to leave a comment below and let me know what you thought about The Fault in Our Stars. I will leave my social media links in the description box below, and hit that subscribe button if you want to see more videos from me. Alright, see ya!